Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today. If you want to follow along, we will be back in Genesis chapter 36, and we will wrap up the family tree here, the genealogy section of Esau. Here we see, and again, I'm not going to read this and all the names, but just simply the first line says, "These are the names of the chiefs of Esau according to their clans and their dwelling places." So, what we have here is a listing of the rulers, those who were responsible, who were leading in a particular geographical area, and we have these men then listed as to who they are. Again, called chiefs. And it's really, when you first read that, you think, hey, cool, these men made something of themselves. They grew up to be chiefs. And so it sounds good, but then I want you to back up for a moment and stop and think a minute. Yeah, they're chiefs, but what are they chief of? What are they responsible for? Yes, they probably have a large territory. And the territory quite likely was even named after them. There's a good chance it was named after somebody, and probably them. They were again the most important person in that area, the most important person in that territory, they were again big shots, I guess you'd say. But all of them, again, Esau's descendants. But the most important, again, of his descendants were these men who became chiefs. But here's the sad thing I want you to remember. They were chief in Edom. They were chief in the land of Seir. They had no chance, no hope. They were not going back to Canaan, the promised land. They weren't going to be there. What a sad story to leave this kind of legacy. They possessed a lot of land. Probably because of that, they also probably had a lot of servants, probably had a large flock, a lot of different animals. But they were going to live this life and die outside of the promised land that God had promised his people. That describes the life that a lot of people today are living. They're going to go out, and when they pass away, they're going to have a lot of land, a lot of money, maybe a lot of power, and other than that, not much. I have told this story before. I just abbreviate it again about the pastor that goes out to the Texan with the large ranch, and the Texan's showing him everything around him that he owns. As far as you can see, in all directions. And the preacher finally said, yeah, but how much do you own in that direction? And left the man speechless. These were men who owned pretty much everything you could see, north, south, east, and west. But when he came to looking towards heaven, it appears they owned nothing. What a sad way to leave this world. How will you leave it? You may own a lot of stuff. You may look at your bank account, your portfolio, but if you don't know Christ, if you don't have him as your Savior, you'll leave here most miserable. You think about it. Have a great day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.